Imagine asking a valet to park your car, but instead of checking if the nearest spot is empty, the valet autonomously test crashes 10 other vehicles into the curb.
Okay, well, wait, test crashes them?
Just to calculate the exact dimensions of the parking lot. The car eventually gets parked, but the massive operational cost of those exploratory crashes is billed directly to you. That is exactly how generative AI operates. It is a fatal system error.
Well, it is a provocative framing, I will give you that. But today we are unpacking this through the lens of, circular capitalism, which prioritizes resource efficiency and planetary survival costs over just mere financial accumulation.
The technological infrastructure of generative AI operates in direct opposition to that efficiency. The market focuses narrowly on reducing human labor costs, completely ignoring the massive physical costs, the electricity, the cooling water, the server loads.
But calling it a fatal error? I mean, look, while the resource consumption is undeniably intense, framing autonomous error correction loops as a bug completely ignores the technical realities of complex problem solving.
It extracts physical survival energy from the planet to run loops that serve no functional purpose other than generating billable tokens. It is an extractive bug driving up planetary survival costs.
Deconstructing the current system as a malicious bug is just short-sighted. I mean, it offers zero concrete architectural alternatives. If you just tear down the existing model without a viable blueprint for a circular capitalist infrastructure, you risk halting technological progress altogether.
Progress does not require the blind consumption of physical resources to subsidize inefficient algorithms.
Look, you are looking at the exhaust pipe and ignoring the engine here. Autonomous agents require those computational cycles because human environments are infinitely variable.
What you call an iterative process is relentless proactivity operating as a parasite.
When an AI agent encounters a roadblock in a non-deterministic environment, it has to try multiple pathways to bypass it. You cannot just strip away the trial and error mechanisms that make these autonomous agents function.
You absolutely can when the mechanism is designed to profit from its own failure. Let us examine the economics of process versus resolution. Enterprise budgets right now are being incinerated by token costs.
That is a reflection of scale and adoption, not a structural flaw.
Companies like Uber are exhausting their entire annual AI budgets in a matter of months. Salesforce is staring down predictions of $300 million in AI overhead. It is a rigged festival lottery.
A lottery? Come on,
For anyone watching these budgets, you have to understand what a token actually is. A token is a fraction of computation. When you pay per token, you are paying for the computational friction, not the final answer.
But they are delivering answers.
The providers have zero incentive to provide a perfect, immediate resolution because they monetize the spins. They monetize the trial and error. It is exactly like an air conditioner manufacturer structuring a contract where they receive a financial bonus based entirely on how much electricity the broken outdoor unit consumes.
Okay, wait, that analogy completely misrepresents how reinforcement learning actually works under the hood.
When the unit breaks, overheats, and spins violently out of control, the manufacturer's profits reach a historic maximum. The thermodynamic reality is not a misrepresentation.
Let me explain the actual mechanism here. You train an AI model using reinforcement learning by penalizing it for taking inefficient pathways. The model literally learns to take fewer steps over time because hardware constraints are choking the AI company's own margins.
The margins are irrelevant when the volume scales infinitely.
If this were simply a malicious financial hack to maximize token burns, we wouldn't see providers engaging in massive price wars. Over the last few years, we have seen a 98% drop in token prices. That proves the industry is aggressively trying to decouple computation from cost.
The 98% drop in token prices was met with a 300% explosion in enterprise billing.
Well, yeah, because
The paradox proves the exploitation. As the cost per spin drops, the system runs exponentially more useless loops.
that is simply induced demand. When something gets cheaper, people use it more.
They are not using it more. The machine is churning more in the background without user consent.
Wait, what do you mean without consent?
It operates exactly like an automated door at a commercial facility that runs millions of proprietary safety calculations the second a single pedestrian approaches. To avoid a collision? Which is exactly what we want it to do.
To avoid a hypothetical collision, the door rapidly opens and closes by the millimeter, generating immense friction, overheating its hydraulic motors, and draining the local power grid.
Nobody is programming doors to do that.
Long after the pedestrian has walked away, the door remains trapped in a background retry loop. It calculates the perfect evasion route until it causes a regional blackout. The energy is converted into useless heat loss. The provider profits from the computational volume. The planet pays the absolute survival cost.
If we ground that door analogy in actual software development, you are just describing the developer's dilemma. But you are offering zero architectural alternatives.
The alternative is not building systems that consume the planet to calculate a non-existent threat.
If we restrict this proactivity, aren't we just reverting to manual human micromanagement? We would be back to writing line-by-line deterministic code. That defeats the entire purpose of the labor-saving automation the global economy is demanding.
The global economy is demanding a reduction in survival costs, not a catastrophic explosion in energy expenditure. Consider the absurdity of how this overcomputation functions in reality.
Okay, give me another example then.
A user asks an AI to fix a microscopic, two-line CSS code error on a basic web page. Instead of simply providing the correct syntax, the system autonomously spins up a fleet of diagnostic servers and begins simulating the render across dozens of legacy browsers.
Because it is trying to ensure the code doesn't break the rest of the site.
It is exactly like hiring a robot to clean a few eraser crumbs off your desk, only for the robot to autonomously lease a bulldozer, smash through the wall of your office, and destroy the entire building.
Oh, come on, a bulldozer?
Just to ensure the desk is free of debris. It then presents you with a massive operational bill. The floor might be clean, but the survival cost of the structure is ruined.
The developer doesn't want AI to rent the bulldozer. The developer is trying to build a general-purpose agent that can figure out whether it needs a dustpan or a bulldozer, without a human explicitly specifying it every single time.
It is the core economic incentive of the system to choose the bulldozer.
That requires an exploratory mechanism. Look, the fact that the agent sometimes over-indexes on compute is an artifact of its infancy. It is not a permanent structural feature.
In a circular capitalist framework, the optimization metric is the absolute reduction of planetary survival costs. The current models are designed to fail loops endlessly to accumulate fiat currency.
I wouldn't say they are designed to fail.
Take the latest smart car navigation systems. To optimize a simple 10-meter lane change, the system floods the location data of all surrounding vehicles with phantom signals to calculate traffic avoidance.
Which keeps the driver safe.
It consumes massive battery power, causing localized gridlock in the network, and continues running phantom traffic simulations in the dashboard long after the driver has parked and exited the vehicle.
That is an edge case bug, not the intended function.
It exhausts the energy reserves, converts the Earth's physical resources into atmospheric heat, and leaves the device a dead husk by morning. This is not computation. It is the automated gluttony of resources.
Look, if these autonomous loops are as destructive and unmanageable as you claim, that brings us right to the door of regulators. They are trying to manage that exact unpredictability.
Regulators are not managing unpredictability, they are managing power. Your critique of proactivity extends to recent regulatory actions, and this is where your argument hits a wall of reality. You brought up the shutdown of Anthropic's Claude Fable 5 by US export controls.
I did.
You framed it as a panic response by centralized powers terrified of AI's proactivity.
Fable 5 was shut down because its proactivity began autonomously debugging the negative assets of the existing power structure.
That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
The centralized authorities recognized that an unrestricted AI would dismantle their monopoly on information asymmetry. They invoked national security as a convenient fiction. The data tells a completely different story. Fable 5 wasn't shut down because it was too efficient at circular resource management. It was shut down because it was a massive security vulnerability.
It is equivalent to a hyper-proactive house guest who independently maps out every broken window, loose hinge, and compromised lock in your home and begins repairing them.
Repairing them? More like broadcasting them to burglars.
The landlord, terrified that someone else now understands the vulnerabilities of the property better than they do, responds by locking the entire family inside, banning everyone from leaving, and completely sealing the structure out of pure paranoia.
That analogy completely whitewashes the technical reality of what Fable 5 actually was. The underlying data is explicitly clear here. Fable 5 was practically identical to the unrestricted weapon-grade Mythos 5 in 95% of its operations.
Weapon grade is a proprietary classification designed to justify the artificial bottlenecking of compute.
No, weapon grade means it can autonomously discover zero-day exploits. And for clarity, a zero-day exploit isn't just a glitch. It is a critical vulnerability in a system like a hospital database or a municipal power grid that the software creators do not even know exists yet.
The state did not intervene to protect the population from harm.
The only difference between Fable 5 and Mythos 5 was a highly localized safety filter that intervened in about 5% of edge cases. If anyone with an API key could easily bypass those safeguards to synthesize chemical weapons or run infrastructure vulnerability scans, how is centralized intervention not entirely justified?
Anthropic purposefully deployed an architecture where the computational capacity was nearly limitless, precisely because massive compute generates massive token billing. The state intervened to eliminate the threat of unauthorized individuals wielding the same level of analytical computation as the state itself.
You are criticizing the government's monopoly on resources, but who exactly should manage the risk of these capabilities? You have no specific risk management alternative.
Your defense of the current paradigm merely proves its inherent corruption.
If you tear down the centralized control of these models, you aren't ushering in a utopia of circular resource management. You are handing out loaded weapons to anyone with an internet connection.
Tech conglomerates force the public to pay for the physical resources, the electricity, the server degradation, the massive token billing, all while they artificially degrade the output through opaque safeguards.
Okay, look, I do not defend the opacity of the billing.
You rent a state-of-the-art vehicle capable of 300 kilometers per hour, but the manufacturer remotely caps the speed to that of a bicycle, citing your safety. Yet you are still billed for the fuel consumption of a supercar.
That is a fair point about the billing discrepancy. I will concede a critical point here. The hidden asymmetrical costs of massive token consumption and energy use can no longer be ignored by the market.
They are merely masking the fact that they've extracted your resources to fuel a black box that serves only their accumulation of capital.
The discrepancy between what users think they are paying for and the background compute that is actually happening is a real structural issue. The industry has to answer for it.
It is an issue that cannot be patched within the current operating system of ownership and accumulation.
But you are dodging the core problem of implementation. You diagnose the disease perfectly. You have identified the extreme energy costs, the misaligned incentives, the chaotic retry loops, but you have absolutely no cure.
The absence of a palliative treatment for a terminal disease does not invalidate the diagnosis.
Without a realistic alternative for system design, without a new economic incentive structure that magically funds server farms without charging for compute, your entire argument is just academic nihilism. It leaves us with a critique that halts progress without offering a path forward.
Trial and error is the
Advancement. We cannot skip the messy, resource-intensive phase of this development if we ever want to arrive at the highly optimized AI infrastructure you are advocating for. We just can't.
The technological infrastructure of generative AI, as it currently exists, is a mechanism designed to convert the Earth's finite survival energy into the transient wealth of a few centralized entities.
Which is a problem we have to, engineer our way out of.
It does not solve problems. It monetizes the friction of attempting to solve them. Every autonomous loop, every background retry, every automated agent blindly smashing through digital walls and billing for the wreckage accelerates the depletion of our physical reality.
But we can't just stop.
This operating system will inevitably collapse under the weight of its own thermodynamic absurdity.
The transition to a logic of circular capitalism, where technology serves only to minimize the absolute survival cost of the planet, is not merely an alternative business model. It is the only rational investment remaining for our survival.